Good morning, guys and gals, welcome back to the channel. And I'm doing a driving video, which is something I've not done for ages. Now in today's video I want to talk to you about the realities of owning and driving a 40-year-old daily driver. Now if you're new to the channel, welcome, and I'll just introduce Orwin. Now Orwin, for those who don't know, who might be new to the channel, is my 1984 Mark II Cavalier, made by Vauxhall. Opel also made the Ascona, which is identical car. A lot of the cars were built in Luton in the UK. Some were also built in Belgium, and this one is actually a Belgian-built Mark II Cavalier, so it's not a UK car. My old saloon that I used to have a silver saloon called Sylvia. That one was a UK made car, but no, this one was made back in 1984 in Belgium. So I'll not go too much into the story of how I came about Orwin in this video. This video is all about the fact that I use it day in, day out as my #1 daily driver. Today is December the 15th 2024, and I'm just driving over to go and pick my son up, to have a day with my son. And yeah, I thought while I'm driving over to go and pick him up, I'll do a driving video because it's something I've not done in a while, and I'll talk about what it's like to own a 40-year-old car. So a lot of you will already know that I used to daily drive an Astra twin top, and I've still got the Astra. I'm just in the process of trying to get some jobs done on it, get it MOT'd and get it sold. My Astra's a 2009 Astra twin top, 1.8 petrol, so even that's not particularly new. Obviously 2009, even that's 15 going on 16-year-old. But I just love driving an old retro. I've always loved older cars. I've always loved older cars, and I work with cars. A lot of people, again, if you're new to the channel, you'll not know, but if you've been on the channel for a while, you know that I actually work in the car trade. That's what I do for a living. I actually sell cars for a living as part of my job. I've just noticed my windscreen's a little bit fogged up. That's probably because of me talking. I'm probably fogging the screen up. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, you'll not be aware, but just get around this very slow Golf. If you're new to the channel, you'll not know, but I work in the car trade. I'm not officially a sales executive. I am a customer advisor, which is basically a sales exec. That's basically what I do. I am a sales guy. That's what I do. I sell cars for a living. So people come in and they buy cars, and I get the cars ready, and then I do the handovers. People come and see me, they come and pay the money, sign up the finance agreement, whatever, and then they drive the new car away. And I've done that since 2007. So yeah, since 2007 I've worked in the car trade. I've worked at various different places, selling brand new cars, selling used cars, selling cars of all ages, and because of that, I drive pretty modern cars day in, day out as part of my job. So every single day I'm jumping in modern day cars. I mean, the newest cars that I sell these days are about a year old. The oldest ones are up to about 8-year-old. I don't sell anything older than that these days, but because I work with modern day cars day in, day out, I know what modern day cars are like, and I just don't have any desire. There's no desirability for me with the newer modern day cars. I just don't. There's too much technology, all the touch screens and everything. I mean, one of the things I love about having an old car like this, like for example now, if I want to change the speed of the fan, there's a little switch with 3 settings on it. Well, 4. Setting number 1 is off. And then you've got 3 speeds, and that's it. If I want to alter the temperature, I've got a bar that slides up and down, just a little handle that slides up and down. If it's at the top, it's hot. If it's at the bottom, it's cold. If it's somewhere in between, then it's somewhere in between. You know what I mean? It's just nice and simple. I've got 2 controllers that control where the airflow goes. So if one's at the top, it puts the air to the windscreen. If it's at the bottom, it puts it to the air vents. If it's somewhere in the middle, it puts it, you know, a little bit to both. I've then got a bottom switch which flicks between sending heat to my feet or sending feet to the air vents. And again, it's dead simple. It just slides up and down, and it just directs where the air goes. But in a lot of modern cars, you can't even do basics like that without pressing a button on a touch screen. There's no button. That's the point. There isn't any button on a lot of modern day cars. You just have to press a touch screen, and then you know, you're going into a menu and into a sub menu, and you know, just to be able to alter your fan speed or just to be able to alter your temperature, and it's just ridiculous. You know, I just find it ridiculous. And that's one of the things I love about driving an older, simpler car like this. Just get past some of these slow ones. It's one of the things I love about driving an older car. It's so simple. You know what I mean? The controls are so simple and so basic. I should have gone for 2nd gear then, that's 3rd. Insignia. The other thing I love as well is the fact that a lot of people look at an older car like this and don't expect it to be fast. I mean, it's not fast in, you know, on the whole scale of things. You know, it's not obviously supercar, you know, Lamborghini, Ferrari fast, but for a regular, normal, everyday, daily car, it's fast enough. It does the job. It does the job for me. It's fast enough for me. But it's the whole driving experience as well. Yes, it's not as quiet and refined, in other words, dull, as a modern day car, but that's what I love about it. You know, I mean, this is obviously a lot different to a standard Mark II Cavalier because it's got the Piper Tornado exhaust on it. Obviously, a completely standard Mark II Cav would be a different driving experience to this. This is also lowered. It's got bigger diameter wheels, 15 inch. It's got wider tyres than standard, 195s. Probably had 175s or 185s when it was new. It's also got bigger brakes as well. It's got the bigger discs on the front. It's got the discs on the back. So it's far from a standard Mark II Cavalier. But the whole driving experience is totally different to a modern day car. I mean, this one has actually got power steering, but it's hydraulic power steering. You know, it's hydraulic power steering. So that gives it a much more natural feel. One thing I really don't like about modern day cars is a lot of them, when you drive them, they feel very, very numb, especially on the motorway. You know, when you're cruising along at 70 mile an hour on the motorway. I hate these rumble strips. When you're driving along at like 70 mile an hour on motorway and the steering is very hard centered, so the steering just sits in the middle and it's very, very, very much you know, locked in the middle position. Let's overtake these. I'll go steady because I were already at the speed limit there. But yeah, just like the feeling of the steering on an old car like this, it's just a totally different feeling. It just feels so much nicer, and the steering is so communicative as well. You know, like I can tell what the front wheels are doing. Most modern cars, you drive them, and as I said, they just feel numb. they just feel, you know, there's just no communication there. There's just no communication there. You just cannot tell what the front wheels are doing. And for a car enthusiast like me, who loves a bit of an enthusiastic drive, you know, that's not what I want. I want a car to talk to me. I want a car to communicate with me. And that's what this does. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, this isn't a sports car. This was never conceived as a sports car. You know, this was originally a 1.6 GL. A 1.6 GL originally. Yeah, it's got a 2-litre fuel-injected SRI 130 engine in it these days. But when it was new, it wasn't conceived as a sports car. But yeah, you know, just by fitting lowering springs and different tyres, it can absolutely fly around bends. It can absolutely fly around bends. You know, it's just like, this car does things that a car of its age shouldn't really, by all rights, be able to do. You know, by rights, this car shouldn't be able to do the things that it can do. I mean, let's see what it'll do around this roundabout. Oh, there's a car coming. Oh, I'm gonna have to stop a sec, let that car go past. But like I say, it's just like the whole driving experience. I mean, I'm not even getting the tyres screeching at that. You know what I mean? Not even getting the tyres screeching. The level of grip that this car has got, honestly, is phenomenal. You know, the level of grip. Like, people often go on about old, you know, saying that Vauxhalls can't go around bends and Vauxhalls can't handle and Vauxhalls are shite and all this. It's like, come and jump in this and have a drive in it. You know, it is so much fun. It's so much ridiculous amounts of fun. It's like, I often have debates with people on Facebook about EVs. You know, you get a lot of people saying about EVs being far superior to ICE cars. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You cannot compare an ICE car like this to an EV. You know, an EV might be fast in a straight line, it might be fast off the mark. You know, I mean, I've driven Teslas galore, I've driven Jag I-Pacers, I've driven, you know, plug-in hybrids of every description, including 330 BMWs and Ioniqs and Konas and Zoes and, you know, everything in between. But, you know, like the fast Teslas, the dual motor Teslas, yeah, they're frigging fast to 60. But when you drive them, they're just numb. Just like most modern day cars are just numb. They don't have the feel, they don't have the buzz, they don't have that, you know, it's not that I'm anti-EV, it's just that I'm anti-modern day car in general, because most regular ICE cars are boring as well. But EVs take it to that extra level of boredom. Like I said, an EV is fun in terms of the acceleration. You know, you put your foot down and my God, they absolutely fly. That guy just broke his neck watching me drive past. But, you know, having a 40-year-old car like this is, honestly, I would recommend it to anybody. And there we go, a Tesla just drove past, a Model 3. I would recommend it to anybody. Now, can you realistically use a 40-year-old car as a daily driver? Simple answer to that, yes you can, because this is the living proof. You know, this is genuinely my daily driver. It is currently the only car that I've got on the road. It is currently the only car that I've got on the road. Like I said, my Astra is awaiting work to be able to get an MOT on it. So this is the only car that I've currently got usable. My Mark 1 Cavalier, I'm still in the process of sorting the wiring loom on that. I have done most of the repairs on it. I've just got a couple more little repairs to do. Problem is I do need a new soldering iron, because my soldering iron's just not getting hot enough, quick enough, and I am struggling to do the soldering. I don't know if he just needs a new tip. I'm going to see, but anyway, I'm digressing. But basically, the Mark 1's off the road currently because the engine won't start because it's got no wiring loom on it. The Astra's off the road because it's still waiting on just one more tyre to be fitted, then I can get it down to work for an MOT, which I might try and get done next week. So this is basically genuinely my daily driver. I use this car every day to get to and from work. You know, I've driven it to work in the snow a couple of weeks ago when we had some snow. You know, I've scraped ice off him in the morning when it's been cold. And he is genuinely my daily driver. So yes, you can use a 40-year-old car as a daily driver quite easily, because I'm doing it. Now, if you want comfort, if you want refinement, if you want quietness, this isn't the car for you. You know, he is actually comfy. Having said that, he has actually got a really nice comfortable ride. Even though he is lowered about 50mm, his ride is actually really comfortable, apart from on the worst bumps. But I think that's because he's probably getting ready for a pair of new shock absorbers, to be fair. I do think the front shocks are getting ready for replacement. But bearing in mind he's on lowering springs but standard shocks. So he's on 50mm lowering springs with standard shocks, so sometimes on the worst bumps he does bottom out. You can hear the shocks like bottoming out because they're not shortened shocks, so they're not exactly the ideal setup. But as I say, he's got a few little rattles and whatever. But again, he's a 40-year-old car with, I believe, just under 146,000 miles. If the mileage on the dashboard is correct, then that's the mileage that he's got. They say it's just so much fun on these little country roads like this. You know what I mean? It's just so much fun. I mean, I'm taking it easy because, well, it's only a 50 zone on here, but you know, some of these roads are 60s. And it is, just like I say, it's just so much fun to drive. So much fun. And that's what it's all about, you know. I know you do get modern day cars which are fun. You do get modern day cars which are fun, but like I said, this isn't a sports car. This isn't a little two-seater convertible. This isn't a little Lotus. This is a five-seater family hatchback from 1984. This car was never meant to be this much fun. Vauxhall, Opel, they didn't design this car to be as much fun as it is. And this is the thing, like, yeah, there are fun cars around today. You can still buy fun cars, but they're like, you know, your GR Yaris's and stuff, you know what I mean? They're like super hot hatches. I mean, super hot hatches today with 300, 400 horsepower, you know, RS3s and stuff, and Golf R's and whatever. They're fun in a different way, but they're not fun like this. It's like a lot of people, I mean, talking about Golfs, a lot of people will tell you you can't get the fun in a modern day Golf like you can in a Mark 1 Golf. You know, a Mark 1 Golf, I've never actually driven one myself, but I imagine it to be very similar to this. You know, it's going to have that old school feel to it. It's going to have that totally different, unique feel to it, because that's what makes these old retro cars so special, you know. It's just a feeling that you just can't get in any modern day car. It's just a totally different experience. It really is a totally different experience. So can you use a daily driver that is 40-year-old? Yes, you can. Can you have fun in a 40-year-old Cavalier? Yes, you bloody can. I would recommend an old retro car to anybody. Now, you might not want to use it as your daily driver. You might want to maybe have a different car as your daily driver and have one of these as a summer car, put it on the road in spring and use it throughout the summer. That's entirely up to you, but either way, I would definitely recommend a cool old retro car from the 80s or the 70s. I mean, one of the things that is great about this is the fact that it's 40-year-old, but it has got a bit of a newer engine in it. As I say, it's got the 2-litre SEH from a Mark III Cavalier, so it's got fuel injection. It's the same engine basically that was used in the last versions of these, in the SRI 130s. And my old Mark II Cavalier Saloon was a 1.8 injection, which is basically the 1.8 version of this engine. So these did come with this engine available from new. It's just that this one happens to be a later one from a Mark III. But that does make it that bit more reliable, that bit more dependable. I'm not saying that the 1.6s are not reliable, but they're a carburettor, and you know what carburettors can be like for being a little bit, you know, not so great on cold mornings and whatever. I've had cars with carbs before, and they're definitely not as reliable as fuel injection generally. But yeah, there we go, guys. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks a lot for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would you have a 40-year-old daily driver yourself? Have you already got an old daily driver yourself? If you do, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Laters.